Yes, yes, we're good. We're good.
Okay.
Okay, so that kind of put me. Okay, well, listen, that's maybe like a good time anyway for us. So let me see if anybody has any questions. I have never done the questions part before. So let's just see if anybody has any questions, go ahead and ask them. I got to see how this works. And if we don't get any, it could be my fault because I'm. Oh, there's a little question box. Hey, Emily, send in a question. My best friend Emily's on here.
Well, how about you put up a question?
Me put up a question?
Yeah, while we're waiting for others to come.
Okay, well, yeah, I will. I'm just making sure I got the technology good. Well, I would like you to tell us, what's a great way to go find a functional medicine doctor?
Good question.
I'm good at this.
Yeah, there there is the International College of Applied Kinesiology. Okay, so you can find docs doing applied kinesiology. There right now there are subgroups of that group that I don't think much of, um, but I would offer for people who look up applied kinesiologists from, here's the website, icakusa.com.
Say that again.
icakusa.com. And people can, in there's a find a doctor page. You can plug in your zip code and find out who's in your region.
And you're saying that because you feel like a lot of applied kinesiology doctors have a strong,
There are docs who do AK who have a really strong sense of and experience with functional medicine. Okay. So say, for instance, I was just doing telemedicine with a gal in New York City.
Oh, that was going to be in my next question, too. We got to talk about you doing telemedicine.
And I realized that she really needed more direct care. She needed to see someone directly. Okay. And so I referred her to someone there to follow up with.
Perfect.
Who I trust to do it properly. Yeah.
And I called you. You gave me somebody here in Colorado who you recommended too.
Yeah.
So if somebody wanted to work with you distance wise, how does that work?
I work with telemedicine, so we have an initial consult just to make sure that they're in the right place, just to see if it makes sense to proceed. And then if it does, then we'll get on a consult call and I'll get a complete history. And then what I do is have them provide records for me to review. And then I bring that and have them fill out health questionnaires and things like that. So we bring all that information together and then I'll make recommendations. So it's not complete. It's not everything that I do, certainly, but at the same time, it can provide a lot of really good direction for people. Yeah.
Do you send them to go do lab work to provide for you, or no? Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
can they get a lot of what you want?
Well, yeah, certainly. There's a lot that they'll get.
I mean, you have a lot of special equipment and special things.
Yeah, I mean, seeing somebody directly, it really ups the quality of what I'm able to provide.
Yeah.
And I actually have some people that come out. They come out for a week. We do telemedicine work to a point. Then they come out and we do physical exams. They stay for a few days. I give them a report of findings. We start to implement care. I start treating them, give them a real clear idea of what they need. And then they come back in a month or 3, and then we make sure that everything's going right for them. Yeah. And that can make a big difference because, see, if over the phone, I can't do a phonocardiograph to measure heart sounds and graph those out and interpret what those mean. And something like a phonocardiograph has a tremendous amount of information above and beyond someone's heart about their nervous system and about different nutrition and about different organ functions and things like that. So, to be able to do that really makes a difference in the quality.
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense.
Yeah.
Hey, somebody's asked a question.
Okay.
Dr. Forrest, you spoke of CO2 testing, which I'd love to know more about. So if I am experiencing fatigue and achiness, should I ask my doctors to specifically test for CO2 to begin?
Yeah, so CO2 is just part of a standard metabolic panel. It's very inexpensive to do. It's a very standard test. And the standard is if it's 24 or lower, it's really not in the range that it needs to be. And it's very likely behind lactic acidosis, which causes that soreness and achiness and whatnot. So,
There you go. Who? Let's see. Did Benita ask that? Good question, Benita. Um, let's see. So that's a big one, and I'm sure I mean, I also know some in town. So whoever's watching this,
Yeah.
I have some referrals for you as well. I do have somebody here who I hope to interview at some point. She's interested, and I feel like she's great. She is a PA who's left,
Hmm.
her working with her whoever she was working with to start her own practice. And she helped me identify, kind of went back to some adrenal stuff, but candida kind of being the root for a lot of my adrenal and thyroid stuff. So rather than needing to go on thyroid medication, we dealt with that, and I didn't have to go on thyroid, medication, which is pretty awesome. And that reminds me a little bit of your muscle testing thing. Like with my left hip has been bothering me, and like some muscles down the leg are feeling weak. That could maybe be related to like my colon, because if there's like a connections there.
Most definitely. The reason I do this work is because my wife, when I was in chiropractic school, my wife had a knee problem that nobody could figure out. And we ended up seeing an intern at Western States Chiropractic College who spent about 2 minutes with her and said, "Oh, that's not a knee problem, that's a gallbladder problem. You need to do a gallbladder flush," and wrote it all out. And she did that, and the knee pain was gone. And I went, I need to learn how to do that.
And
Right?
what was her, yeah, like what was her background on that?
Well, just that she had the knee pain and it had just come on, and
Right.
she didn't know where it had come from, and nobody was
Yeah.
able to figure out what it was, and it
Mhm.
was doing the gallbladder flush that fixed it.
The flush, so that just made it
Yeah,
apparent.
yeah,
Hmm.
and fixed the problem. Yeah.
Right. That makes me feel like you and I might have to have another conversation about my leg. So I'm on my sixth visit with
Yeah.
somebody I feel is amazing, body
Yeah.
worker, chiropractic and all that kind of stuff. But and he's expensive, and I'm not getting relief, and maybe my gut
Okay. Well,
feeling.
let's talk afterward.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
but it's interesting to bring, there's an example, everybody, of your a physical blatant physical muscle something might go back to a different system of the body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, cool. We're at about an hour. If there's any, Demita, if you want to follow up on that question at all, now's your chance. And got a few people on here. So next week I think I have projected us talking about stress,
Okay.
nervous system, um, and kind of like general anxiety that people are experiencing right now. But we could spend probably 2 years on stress. But just so you know, people,
That'd be
I
good.
think it's
Yeah, let's
a
do that.
cool. All right, and then if you want, Hannah there with you, or so we're not sure how it's going
I
to
would
play
love
out,
for
but
him to be on the call.
good. So maybe
Yeah.
you'll be here together. Maybe you'll be there
Yeah.
together. That would be cool. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, all right. Well, I'm going to end the Instagram, and we can stay on Zoom for a second.
That sounds good.
Sound good?
Thanks for
Okay. So
inviting.
you guys, Mark Force. Hey, hold on a second. It's tell them your website and stuff.
drforce.com.
There you go. And how can you go wrong with a doctor named Dr. Force? That's what I say.